let me put my timer on. We're gonna put on a timer of 15 minutes because I talk too much. Let's put you up in the cabinet. Yeah, you're in the cabinet. This is great. This is, okay. Let's see. This is wonderful. Okay, we're putting on a timer. We're starting 15 minutes. Hey, hi, hello. Look at this ratchet video. You're like, Jessica, wow, you look homely. Well, I'm at home. So it is what it is. Look here, I'm depressed, okay? The fact that I'm out of the bed is a miracle. So you're gonna get this video how you're gonna get this video. And that is for upcoming videos for the end of the year. Can you see, what can you see back here? Whatever, this is my house. Hey. Yeah, we're talking about books that I've DNF'd the second half of the year. Now, I don't think I will include any that were on my video I made in the summer. Can I guarantee that though? Because I'm terrible at keeping a complete list, but I went back through Kindle and my library and stuff, and I got a list of books I've DNF'd, and so I'm gonna go through them. Some I have more reason for than others, but again, we're down to 14 minutes. Let's keep it rolling. And let me know if you read any of these books, if you think they're worth me revisiting. Doesn't mean that I'm going to, but you could still tell me anyway. Let's start with my no, that's not my most recent, but one that I DNF'd recently, which was Lone Woman by Victor LaValle. And I know, this one started out good, and then it got really good, and then I was like, okay. And then it just kind of dwindled, and then I just wasn't picking it up, and then it returned to the library. I was listening to the audio, and I just don't feel compelled to get it back. Here's the thing, once I start feeling like a book is losing me, I go to Goodreads and I look at 3-star reviews, and some people were saying how what I was feeling, like they were into the story, but then it seemed like we were adding in so much with these other characters besides our main character who we were with for the first part, and it was losing me. It lost me. Literally, I looked in the app and it said like I had an hour and 10 minutes left, and I still am like, yeah, so no. Next, my most recent DNF was My Year of Rest and Relaxation by whatever. I will put it in here. And I read Ripe, y'all know, and I was like, ooh, is sad girl lit fic my thing? And so this is something that comes up on list that was recommended to me, and I was like, okay, let me read it. And no, I got 15% into this. I hate the narrator so much. She's insufferable, and I think that's the point. And like sometimes I could deal with that, and sometimes I can't. And this time I was like, no, I'm not dealing with it. The other ones that I have read where our main character is a girly suffering through depression, she also is a working girly. And not to say that people with money cannot have depression, but this girl just had a lot of money and was able to literally just lay in bed for a year. And I'm like, and she was just a really shitty person, and I did not want to read from her perspective. So I was like, no. And I went to Goodreads and I was looking at 3-star reviews, and I was like, you know what? Valid. I am not continuing this, even though it's not super long, not worth my time. I also DNF'd Before I Let Go. Oh, I know. So many people love this book. My Kennedy Ryan. It's my first Kennedy Ryan. I'm sad as well. Have not given up on the author altogether. But this book, I just was like, it's a second chance romance. And that's just not my jam, because it is rare that the author makes me believe that these people really need to be back together again. And in this case, I'm like, well, one, y'all should have never gotten a divorce. Hello? And so now I don't care for you to be back together. One of her friends sucked. I really didn't like anyone in the book except for her son. And it was just another one where I borrowed the audiobook, and then as the days progressed, I picked it up less and less, or like I clicked into the app less and less. I was buddy reading this with Ray and Robin. They both finished it. And I heard their thoughts and I was like, yeah, I'm good. So I still do want to try. Kennedy Ryan has a lot of other work, so I do want to give her a chance, but this one wasn't for me. Let's see, The Spite House. I'm not saying most of these authors, I'm sorry if I can't remember, but I'll put the image here. This was a soft DNF. It is something I want to revisit. I just really wasn't in the mood for this one at the time. I started it, I didn't get that far. So it still like did not finish it, but I do plan to give that a try again in the new year at some point. Forged by Blood, beautiful gown, beautiful gown, beautiful gown. So this was sadly another fairy loot that was not great. I was going through a bunch of them to see if they were worth keeping, and most of them weren't. And this, reading it, I was like, oh, it's setting up to give me just very typical young adult fantasy, even though it's supposed to be an adult book. And I'm like, no, this is not. I think there's a potential love triangle or something. I don't know. I just was like, I don't care. I don't care. So no, goodbye. It makes me very sad. I also, Animal, so sorry again, Ray and Robin wanted me to read Animal, and I was just listening to it like, and not like I'm opposed to violence. It just wasn't, I just was not interested in that. That's all I can say. I just was like, what's going on with Gucci and an animal, and oh, it's a very interactive, very theatrical audiobook. If you want to listen to the audiobook, I mean, there's sound effects and it's not just somebody reading to you. It is very theatrical, but I just was like, oh, no. Yeah. The Shadow Cabinet. This also is a soft DNF because I was very excited about this book coming out. But you know me, I've been very slumpy this year, so I was trying to read it and I kept picking it up, but I wouldn't get that far. And so I finally just put it down to the side. I do plan to actually like start it over from the beginning and read it when I'm back in a fantasy mood. But yeah, when I was trying to read it originally, when I first got my copy, sadly my brain was not there for it, but I will be getting back to it because I really did love Her Majesty's Royal Coven, and the Shadow Cabinet is the follow-up to that. So I want to, when I'm ready, when Up Here is ready for that kind of fantasy story, I will be getting back to it. The Time I Got Drunk, and this one, I'm not sure. I put The Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Human. I don't know if that's the right one. I tried one of these because this was the one through my Libby app, but I feel like I had, maybe that was it. Or did I listen to it on Scribd? You know what? I didn't even go look on Scribd because you know how many audiobooks I be starting and stopping on Scribd? So, or whatever it's called now. It's got a new stupid name, but I'm going to call it Scribd. Let's see. Let me see. Okay, there's one I'm still reading. Whoops. Ooh, there's so many things I'm in the middle of. Ooh, a shame. Yeah, I don't know. It's not on here. Here it is. The Time I Got Drunk and Saved by a Demon. I made the mistake of listening to this on audio instead of reading it with my eyeballs because I was like, this is terrible. This writing is horrible. I hate it so much. I tried the accent, oh, no, I could not do it. And then I heard, yeah, definitely one you should read with your eyeballs. So there are two other ones. The Time I Got Drunk and something and something and something and something. And so maybe I would give one of those a try because I know a lot of people do enjoy them, but I do not recommend listening to it on audio because it just sounds redonkulous and not in a good way. Not in a good way. I also on here, I was listening to Iron Flame, DNF that. Now, we know problems with Rebecca, many, but I did really love Fourth Wing. It was what I needed when it came out. I had so much fun. I love the dragons. I was feeling the little angsty romance, okay? I had a good ass time. And I was excited that the sequel was coming out in the same year, even though, did that give her enough time to do what needed to be done? No. Was it already written? I don't know. But, so Iron Flame, which was a book club pick for my Patreon. Again, one I was listening to on audio that I do not think you should listen to. I think you need to read it with your eyeballs, but I just wasn't in a read with my eyeballs mood, so I was listening to the audiobook. That was a terrible decision because I did not like the narration, especially for the dragons and for Xaden. And I just felt like, girl, where is the romance? Okay, the characters are split up. And so she wasn't doing a good job at illustrating the pining and the angst for each other. And it just wasn't giving. And I was like, girl, I don't have time for this. The book is long as hell. So I DNF'd it. I got people to spoil it for me. And I was like, wow, I would be pissed if I read that. So there's that. Y'all, I don't think this is enough time for me to keep going. I have so many and I only have 4 minutes and 50 seconds left. Also, let's see. The Only Purple House in Town. This was a romance. And it was supposed to be like, was it supposed to be like a witchy romance or a cozy fantasy? Was it supposed to be a fantasy romance? I don't remember, but the cover looks really cute. Don't know where I saw it, so I borrowed it from the library. And it's just so weird because the male character, him and her have known each other since, I don't know, elementary school or something. And she like dropped a bracelet or something and he's been holding on to it all this time, and now they're in their 20s and he's kind of just like been stalking her, like keeping up with her on social media and stuff. And it just made me feel uncomfy. Inside was like, no. And I had to let it go. Spells for Forgetting by Adrienne Young, I think. Was that this year? I don't even remember. That could have been last year. No, it might have been this year. It wasn't good. That's all I got for you. I don't know if I talked about the Kindred earlier this year, but I started reading it and I was like, I don't even know why I bought it. Because when I started, it was like, girl, why do we get this? We don't want to read a young adult romance in space. And so I was like, I don't care. That's all I can say about that. The Bodyguard, this lady, Catherine Center, I think, not to be not a feminist. And I believe that women could be what they want to be. But when I read The Bodyguard, I'm thinking the man is the bodyguard, he's protecting her. But it's the other way around, and I'm so sorry, I just don't believe it. Like, because I mean, the character expresses that, like, how are you supposed to protect me? It's like, oh, we have these systems in place, and like, it should never come down to physical combat, but even so, I've been trained in, and I'm just like, I don't believe you. And it just was boring, so I was like, no thanks. Then I don't know if I had talked about Out. This is a Japanese novel. I don't know if I talked about this in June, but I was really excited about this one, but the format of it wasn't doing it for me because it's basically, I think, in 3 parts, told like the same story told from like 3 perspectives. And even in just the first part, I just didn't like how it was just like, I don't know how to explain it, because she's basically like I think someone killed her daughter. And I think she knows it's a student, and so she's like going and recounting all of this stuff to tell them things, to maybe tell them she knows. I don't know, I just was bored by this style of it. I've heard good things though, but I couldn't be bothered. The Writing Retreat. Again, I don't remember if I talked about this one earlier. I was listening to this on audio, and I, like most mystery thrillers, just aren't for me. It has to really hook me for me to care, and I didn't care. I think I got 30% to this. This might have been one that I tried to read when I did that long drive home, so I might have talked about it in June, but yeah. I was like, you're not keeping me awake. I'm driving, I need to be kept awake, and that wasn't doing the job. I don't know if I talked about Small Town Big Magic. This cover got me. It looked so cute and cozy, and I forgot about this one. I think it was that I know a lot of authors are trying to, talk about things that are relevant and like current in our climate and stuff like that, and I appreciate it when it's done well. But this one was just very like, down with the patriarchy. I'm like, there's ways to show that your character is like that and like very feminist without like literally saying the words. Like, well, I'm just gonna think about myself as having as much confidence as a mediocre white man. Like, I don't need to see those like exact things written in the text. And this was very like in your face like that. And I was like, ugh, try harder. Vicious Bonds. Oh my God. I have been trying to find a good black fantasy romance that works for me, and I have not succeeded, but this was one that I found from someone on TikTok, should have known. And they were like, oh look, 12 seconds. Okay, well, I'm just gonna have to go over the timer. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna give myself 5 more minutes. Let's give ourselves 5 more minutes, okay? This one was, she was talking about it. It's on Kindle Unlimited. I was like, cool. So you have our main character, and she has lost her twin brother and her parents, I think. And is like seeing this guy she really doesn't want to be seeing, and he's really pushy. And then she kind of like gets dropped into this alternate world where it's basically like Fated Mates is, and my battery's gonna die. God damn it! Okay, I'll be back. This is such good lighting. Like, why don't I film here all the time? Anyway, so she gets dropped into this other land, basically, because it's not her world, and she meets who is like, they learn like they're tied together, they're fated or whatever. And he's very grouchy, but she's very whiny. So there's no grouch sunshine there, it's just grouch, which I'm like, ugh. The thing is, I kept reading, and I was like, either I need your world to be very clear as to what it is, or it needs to be like just vague. And she kept describing like, so this alternate world has cars, they just like look different, but then like they don't have cell phones. Like they would have like some things, but then like not other things that her world has, which is the regular world. And he just like, everyone just kept raising their eyebrow, and like I was like, oh my God, raise your eyebrow one more time. And it would just like, I don't know, the world just, it felt like our world with like a couple things removed. And I just was like, I don't care. There was nothing like, even, you know, when you're reading something and it's like enemies to lovers or whatever, there's usually at least an initial tension, even when they still hate each other. And when they're in each other's presence, and they also like, they can read each other's thoughts, I just was like, it felt more like brother sister than lover, you know what I'm saying? And I just couldn't. I didn't love the writing either, and I just could not anymore. City of Dusk, another fairy loot book that I started reading. I was doing try a chapter, so I think I read the first 2 chapters, and I could just tell it was just like, it seems like it could be fine, but it's very long, and I don't know if it's gonna be a duology or a trilogy, and I just was like, I don't know, I don't have time to read things that are just gonna be fine. Just no. The Girl from the Other Side is a manga, and I was just looking through my, like I said, my Libby holes, and I was like, oh yeah, why did I not finish that? So I don't know. I might have borrowed it and it got returned to the library and I never got to it because I don't remember reading it. Like, I started like 1 or 2 pages or something, but I don't remember intentionally being like, I don't want to read this anymore. So I may get back to that because I feel like someone recommended it, but I can't be sure because I don't remember anything these days. It's concerning. 2 more. I got Immortal Longings by Chloe Gong. Again, a fairy loot one that I tried a couple chapters and I just thought this was corny. No thank you. And Son of Blood and Ruin, fairy loot. This one felt very cheesy. It just felt very young YA. And because it's like superhero-y, not my thing. So I think that's it. If I look back over my list, there's probably something I forgot because I just pick things up and put them down because, you know, there are things, but look, so things I'm still in the middle of that I have not officially given up on Scribd. So except for Palestine, The Limits of Progressive Politics, that's one that I'm in the middle of. I have 3 hours left. Worthy by Jada Pinkett Smith, I have 9 hours left. I thought I had gotten further. How long is it? So there's that. Also, I was listening to, well, the Shadow Cabinet, already had that on there. Love Notes by Christina C. Jones. I was re-listening to Vita Nostra. So those are just a few things that I'm in the middle of there. And so that's it. Okay, me and my kitchen video have come to an end. If you read any of those books, let me know. Or have you DNF'd any books this year? I hope that you have learned from me, from Heather, from those out there who DNF happily, that it is not worth your time to push through a book that you're not enjoying. And sometimes you just put it down and you can come back to it later. Like there's no hard like, oh, I'll never return to any of these books. I mean, I probably won't to the majority of them, but it's okay. You do not have to finish that book. Let it go. You could read the first paragraph and be like, nope. You could read 78% of the book and be like, nope. It is all right. What did Heather say? DNFing is self-care. Did she say that? Did I say that? Did somebody say that? We're saying it now. DNFing is self-care. Okay. So thanks for watching my homely video. I'll see you in another one. Maybe tomorrow when I'm cooking dinner, I will again film a video and put you in my cabinet, because this lighting is actually impeccable. I don't understand. This is amazing. Why haven't I been doing this the whole time? Of course, y'all are seeing this messy side of my fridge. See, I have the magnets on the side, but if you look on the front, it is very neat. So, and I have stuff on the camera. You know what? I live here. So that's why it looks like this, okay? Anyway, be blessed. Hydrated, moisturized sunscreen. Also, free Palestine. Okay, if that was ever a question, we're still waiting for a ceasefire. These fucking governments don't listen. But no, but seriously though, anyway, at this point, if you still don't know what's going on, you're part of the problem. Okay? Fix that for 2024. Bye!